he's one of the two opening batsmen today. He's gone in first with Jeff Marsh. When we pick it up, we're in the third over. 2 runs are on the board, and it's Malcolm Marshall coming in to bowl to Marsh. Your commentators are Ian Chappell and Tony Gregg.
It's a good shot from Marsh. You're looking for 2 here. That's well run. They're back for a third.
That's a good shot. Straight down the ground. A little bit of a gap there left by Marshall. And one of the few half volleys that he'll bowl today. And very well played.
Good square drive. Benjamin won't cut that off. The first boundary of the afternoon. Water will be facing Joel Garner coming from the Paddington end.
Lovely shot. But he's been pinned down throughout this inning so far, and that ball really wasn't all that bad. It was fractionally short, and Border went back and cracked it like a shot from a gun.
Won't see many better shots than that. Alan Border quick to get on the back foot. The ball only just short of a length, just wide at the off stump, and bang, 4 runs.
So the first change in bowling as Courtney Walsh comes on to replace Malcolm Marshall. And that's it. An outside edge as Marsh tries to get on with things, and Joel Garner's enormous hands fold around the ball. Walsh gets his first wicket. Australia have lost their first at 33.
Jeff Marsh trying to push the pace. Joel Garner fairly deep in the gully, but a beautiful pair of hands. He doesn't drop too many catches. Certainly didn't drop that one. Bad luck for Jeff Marsh. Bad luck for Australia. Jeff Marsh on his way. Australia 1 for 33.
Big reception for Dean Jones, Australia's leading batsman of the moment, with already 2 centuries in this competition. Correction, 1 century in this competition. There were 2 in the Perth Challenge out in Perth, and then there was, of course, here at this SCG, magnificent undefeated 184 in the Test series, the last Test of the Ashes series against England.
See Jeff Marsh again getting the outside edge. The ball flying deep to Joel Garner in the gully. Marsh on his way back to the pavilion. The West Indians highly delighted. Jeff Marsh not so impressed as he walks through the middle of them on the way back.
So Benjamin comes on to join Courtney Walsh.
In the air, and that's safe. Maybe the 3rd boundary of the day in the 18th over. Border finds the fence for the 2nd time.
Just underlining what a difficult task batsmen face against these bowlers, because Garner and Marshall are off, but these other guys, Benjamin and Courtney Walsh, are also bowling very well. That wasn't a bad ball. Border had to get inside it, deliberately had to shuffle across and whip it away over the head of the infielder. There's nothing really wrong with the delivery.
Jones on strike to Courtney Walsh.
In Jones. And a bit of a break like that.
Well, that's what limited over cricket is all about. It was a beautiful piece of bowling. That was a leg cutter that went from leg to off. Jones found a thick edge, it eluded Jeffrey Dujon, the wicketkeeper, and raced away for 4. Jones's first boundary off a thick edge. There it goes. Jones looking to hit maybe to the onside. Courtney Walsh spins around in disgust. Courtney Walsh. He's out. He stood on his wicket. Richie Benaud had pointed that out earlier, that they're using the crease. In fact, backing back against the extra bounce. This time Border dislodges the bails as he tries to work that square of the wicket. Such is the pace of the West Indians. They've got the Australian batsman pushing back, and Borders out. Hit wicket for 19, and it's 2 for 58.
And they're deep in trouble at the moment, partly because of the slowness of the scoring, partly because they've lost a couple of wickets. And it wasn't just in the push-off for the single, it was in the coming down. It must only have brushed that off stump or off and middle, but it's because the West Indians have been able to force them back onto their stumps with this little bit of extra bounce in the pitch. Been some very, very good bowling, and it's 2 for 58. Greg Ritchie is the new batsman.
Here's the delivery, forces him back. Back goes Border, crunch, down goes 2 bails. Hit wicket, bowled Walsh for 19. So the umpires have to stay awake as Border goes up and back, and quite a noise there as both bails fall. Border knew he was gone, and Courtney Walsh strikes for the second time. Umpire Mel Johnson was officiating at square leg.
Quite a critical part of the Australian innings coming up. Got Roger Harper, the spinner, bowling from one end. Benjamin still bowling from the Randwick end.
Richards, an easy catch for the West Indies skipper at mid-wicket. And Winston Benjamin is quite delighted at picking up his first wicket in the World Series Cup competition.
Very vital wicket for the West Indies. Australia's Dean Jones on his way back, attempting to loft the ball over the infield, but Viv Richards getting in the way. Very big blow for Australia. Dean Jones on his way. Australia 3 for 69.
Dirk Wellham at the non-strikers end. He's been demoted to number 5 today.
So we have another look at Dean Jones' dismissal. Quite a simple catch for Viv Richards. And Viv, probably one of the safest pair of hands in the world. Wasn't going to drop that one.
Well hit right through Viv Richards, and it was virtually just the power of the shot.
Viv Richards really middled that one. Ball not getting up all that high. Playing the pull shot. And getting up about waist high, but that really came off the middle of the bat. Straight through Viv Richards and straight out to the mid-wicket boundary.
Ritchie back in the Australian batting lineup. Fine straight player.
Lovely hit. Really hit that beautifully, Ritchie. That's the way to play the hook shot. Hitting over the top of it in front of square, off the middle of the bat.
Winston Benjamin nearly beheaded Greg Ritchie 2 overs ago. Since then he's played 2 glorious pull shots. Whack straight into the ground, went like a rocket to the fence. And that's the strength of Greg Ritchie. Square of the wicket. He's a beautiful player.
Lovely shot again, finding the gap. Beautifully played by Ritchie. Sweet timing, 4 runs, and this, the last over from Benjamin, has proved to be very expensive.
Yes, because Greg Ritchie's played 2 superb shots. Nothing wrong with the deliveries, but that was the timing of this young man that put it away. It wasn't hit with all that much power, just stroked it through extra cover. So like Peter Burge, he's strong and he's a beautiful timer. He gives it the full face of the bat, and then when in form, he's a hard guy to bowl to.
Joel Garner comes back, having had 6 at the beginning. 6 overs, 1 maiden, no wicket for 13. Coming back now. Straight into the mid-on's hands, and that's it. Hard but straight and low to the fielder, Haynes. And Greg Ritchie has gone as Joel Garner comes back. The first over of a new spell, and Ritchie trying to go over the top, not quite making it.
Yes, not the shot that was needed at this stage. He was playing too well for that type of shot. Straight to Desmond Haynes. So Ritchie's out for 35. It's 4 for 1-2-2.
The new batsman is Stephen Waugh, with the West Indies getting a wicket just at the right time. 4 for 122. And here is Ritchie, how Ritchie went. He tried to go over the top and hit it low down to Haynes at mid-on. Well, Joel Garner can't quite get down as he used to a few years back. Big man, and it's difficult when you're following through to get down. And Harper in his 10th over now.
Played a shot at that one. It's going down towards square leg. It probably will get cut off down there. No, it won't. Benjamin, the fieldsman down there. That is a lovely shot by Stephen Waugh. Oh, he's running into form just at the right time. Plays all the shots. That one wasn't even off the middle of the bat. Lovely timer. Courtney Walsh is about to be brought back into the attack. Waugh giving himself some room and turning blind. This could be out. Oh, hopeless. Well, that's entirely his own fault. He absolutely turned blind and set off regardless of the state of the affairs on the other side of the ground, and he really did ask for that.
Well, I can tell you that the modern day player thinks the old timer is crazy when we criticize him for turning blind. That's all I'll say.
So 5 for 158. Simon O'Donnell is the new batsman for Australia. Keep an eye on Stephen Waugh. As he turns, the ball has gone to the left of the picture. As you look at it, he turns blind and away he goes. First time he looks up is around about now. Well, he doesn't even look when he's gone.
There's no way Dirk Wellham thought there was 2 there. Poor old Vivi Richards. Well, poor young Vivi Richards. He's had 7 goes today, and he's hit the stumps twice, and the guy's just been in. The other 5 times, he's whistled it past the stumps by a millimetre.
So there's no doubt that this would have been out. The batsman wasn't even in the picture. Oh, this is a run out. Viv Richards doesn't have to borrow about throwing. He simply has to trot over and with the bails off. I'm not quite sure whether there was a yes there or not. But Dirk Wellham is still out there, and Simon O'Donnell is the victim. See if we can pick
what went wrong. I think it might have been a yes and then a no from Wellham, but Simon O'Donnell was committed. So Vivian Richards simply trotted over, whipped the bars off, and that was the end of that. Simon O'Donnell run out for 6, and Australia now 6 for 170. Tim Zura is the new batsman. Watch Wellham. Straight no, I think it was, and that was the end of that.
It's Courtney Walsh. Have to be quick here. The fielding is very good today. If you're going to take 2, it's got to be down to the long part of the ground.
Yes, that was very definitely out. Let's have a look. Played away square on the onside. And this is a very flat throw. Quite wide, but out by miles. In fact, the bat wasn't even run in. It was in the air, and in fact, only touched after the bat had just gone past the crease. 7 for 173. Matthews is the new batsman with his new look crash helmet. Big holes there in the region of the ear.
Beautifully picked up and thrown. Now the bat doesn't slide, just pops in over the crease on the full.
Wellham with his crash helmet on has the strike.
Oh, great catch. Jeffrey Dujon diving away to his right. Dirk Wellham throws his head back in surprise, but he's a very acrobatic man, Jeffrey Dujon.
And that's the place to bowl to Dirk Wellham. He's shown against the extra yard of pace. He's a little bit fragile outside the line of the off stump, and that was a beautiful piece of work. Malcolm Marshall, the ball, the leg cutter, just an edge, and Dujon superbly away to his right, took a gem of a catch, and that was what was needed by the West Indians, because Wellham was dangerous, working the ball well. He's out, caught behind. It's 8 for 179.
Peter Taylor is the new batsman. Australia having lost their 8th wicket. Dirk Wellham is out.
Superb catch. Wellham gliding the ball, and Dujon agile and a lovely pair of hands. Took that one-handed. Caught it as clean as a whistle.
Simple catch for Courtney Walsh, but it wasn't simple enough.
Well, I don't think I've seen an easier miss than that. I don't know whether he slipped on the pitch. It was just poked back. It was like catching practice at the nets. Matthews struggling for form, gets a leading edge. It's a dolly. Courtney Walsh one-handed. Hardly touched it, if at all. And Matthews survived. So maybe for Greg Matthews, that's a break he's needed this summer.
Logie is at deep point. And taken by Jeffrey Dujon again. So that's 2 catches in a row for Dujon.
As Taylor struggling against the extra pace of Marshall, tried to guide that down to third man. Malcolm Marshall bowling superbly here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Got the ball to go across him, a little bit of left, and Dujon, as clean as a whistle, does the rest. 9 for 187, the Devils' number. Australia in trouble in the 49th over.
Simon Davis wanders out apprehensively. This won't be a very even contest, I don't think. Malcolm Marshall against Simon Davis. He is not a rabbit, he's a ferret. Comes in after the rabbits. 9 for 189. 1 over to go. Desmond Haynes is the third man. Should have really got 2 there.
For old Greg Matthews, he's struggled with the bat in Benson Hedges World Series Cup. He's coming in the final overs. He's not really a big hitter of the ball. On this occasion, he's running out of partners and deliveries. 3 balls remaining in this innings for the Australian team.
Winston Benjamin at third man. He's done some great work in the outfield for the West Indies today. And Dujon very quickly up to make sure that they don't get a run. And in fact, Simon Davis is out, run out. So Australia finished the innings with 4 run outs, so they're only 1 behind Australia in 1975. So the Australians all out in this innings. Simon Davis run out. A direct hit there by Jeffrey Dujon, and the total 194 of 50 overs.
That will have been a disappointment for Australia. They really struggled today. The West Indies were at it from the word go. I thought they bowled magnificently. Their fielding was good, and some of their throwing was only millimetres off the mark. If it had been on the mark, then we might have broken the record for run-outs in a limited overs match, or any other match for that matter. The Australian card at the end of their 50 overs, 194. They could never get away. 39 from 60 balls for Wellham. The best partnership was Ritchie and Wellham, 53 and 61 balls. Thought Ritchie played well for his 35 in 51 deliveries faced, but it was always a struggle. 194, and the bowling figures for West Indies: Marshall 2 for 29, Garner 1 for 32, Walsh 2 for 41, Benjamin 1 for 45, and Harper spun the ball a lot, no wicket for 34. And that spinning of the ball by Harper will at least give the Australians some hope. At least they've got the runs on the board. They've got 2 off-spinners in the side out there, both of whom are used to bowling on this pitch, Peter Taylor and Greg Matthews. 195 the West Indies need. The rate required 3.9, and that is against the pace and the spin of Matthews and Taylor.
Davis to Haynes. And the first run's off the bat. Little short pull shot from Haynes, and the first boundary to the West Indians, a none for 5. O'Donnell to Richardson. And he's out.
Richie Richardson just out, caught behind without scoring off the bowling of Simon O'Donnell.
Simon O'Donnell beaten Richie Richardson a couple of times in the previous over outside the off stump. This time getting the glove, carrying through to Tim Zora. And boy, that is a welcome relief for the Australian side. The West Indians 1 for 12.
So Zora taking the catch behind the stumps as Larry Gomes comes in to replace Richardson. West Indies opening batsmen have been troubled by the outswinger. So a lot of responsibility now on Desmond Haynes, with Gordon Greenidge, the most experienced opening batsman in the team, out because of injury.
Simon Davis.
Oh, well, very close indeed. Mistimed it, Haynes did, and mistimed it, Davis as well.
Well, it was very important that Australia get off to a good start and get an early wicket. They could have almost had 2 here. Simon Davis not realising the ball was coming back as slowly as it did. It's going to be Simon O'Donnell.
And that's a second wicket gone. Larry Gomes caught and bowled. O'Donnell strikes again. The West Indies are in trouble. They're 2 for 14. And all of a sudden, 195 looks like a mountain.
Well, that's exactly what Australia needed. Simon O'Donnell attacking. Larry Gomes looking for a half-hearted drive. Return cast to Simon O'Donnell. You beauty, he says. Simon O'Donnell's second wicket. West Indies 2 for 14.
So here comes the West Indies captain, Viv Richards, in a very delicate position for his team. They're 2 for 14. They need only 195. And they're 2 down because of this return catch.
Very important wicket for Australia. Larry Gomes.
So Viv Richards in strike now, taking guard and with a big task ahead of him. He's been in good form in the last 2 matches. Started the season completely out of touch, but in Adelaide over the weekend got 43 in the match against England. Followed that with 64 against Australia. Looked to be getting towards his best. Here he is facing Davis. Typical Richards shot. Slightly overpitched, and even though he's been beaten by the previous delivery, still can straight drive it with all the authority at his command. 2 for 19 after 7 overs.
Well played, straight down the ground it goes again. So Richards now beginning to cut loose. The ball is bobbing down towards the boundary and will just get there. 8 runs off that over, 2 for 37. And indeed it's going to be the spin of Matthews. Now this really is a vital time in this match.
Matthews got him, attempting to pull. The quicker ball wasn't all that short. Matthews breaks through. The crowd goes wild at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Fine piece of bowling. That was just a fraction short. It went on with the arm. Haynes trying to pull through mid-wicket was bowled. Neck and crop. A great wicket.
Yes, a tremendous wicket for Australia. And we thought indeed that the spinners were going to make a difference. And have a look at Matthews. He's in the air and absolutely ecstatic. Three for 45 the score. Matthews got a wicket during his first over. He's about to start his second. And to take up commentary now, Ian Chappell and Richie Benaud.
Thanks, Tony. Always spins the ball a lot here at the SCG. Greg Matthews. Almost a great catch. Peter Taylor got it right in the fingertips, but couldn't quite hang on to it.
Gee, that was a great effort. Made good ground to it at full stretch. What a catch it would have been.
Australia doing pretty well in the comparison there after 21 overs.
Stephen Waugh.
Chance of catch it, and it is caught. Dirk Wellham at mid-wicket, and they're doing even better now on the comparison.
Well, they know that's what they have to keep doing. They've got to keep getting wickets. They won't be able to keep Richards down. And there's that leg cutter. Again, Ian Chappell was talking about it. A little bit shorter this time. Gus Logie was playing too soon at it. Almost looked as though he was playing 2 shots. And it's 4 for 59. Jeffrey Duchamp. Logie certainly played much too soon at it, deceived by Waugh. Wellham judged it nicely, got himself around a little bit side on in taking it.
36 needed.
Greg Matthews now.
That's cleared Peter Taylor. Only just, but it was enough.
Now Board has pushed Taylor back onto the boundary. I suspect he should have been before. It's very difficult to run back and take a catch. That's a great shot. Now Matthews has to compose himself out there. He mustn't bowl anything short to Richards like that, because it is a certain 4 runs. He's looked most vulnerable when Matthews has given the ball a bit of air, and he's played 2 one-hand slashes and hoiks away on the onside. One to Peter Taylor and the other one over his head.
And still Australia have got that extra wicket.
Stephen Waugh.
That's nicely hit. Beautiful timing from Dujon.
There's tremendous tension out there with these 2 batsmen. They made haste to talk as soon as that ball hit the fence. Richards urging on his younger and slightly less experienced teammate at the other end.
It's in the air and it's going to be out. He's got him. He's gone. What a breakthrough. Very similar to the shot played by Logie, trying to whip it away on the onside. The ball onto him a little quicker than he expected. Stephen Waugh has broken through for Australia.
Well, Viv Richards doesn't look a very happy man. And why should he be? Jeffrey Dujon trying to loft the ball over Dirk Willems' head without success. Dirk Willem again taking another catch. Jeffrey Dujon on his way back to the pavilion. West Indies now in big trouble. 5 for 89.
Roger Harper is the new batsman.
Well, that ball, I think, coming on to Jeffrey Dujon a little faster than he expected. Steve Waugh does that on occasions, has the ability to bowl that faster one. Jeffrey Dujon not getting onto it, Viv shaking his head, not a very happy man. Vital breakthrough to Australia.
And that's the comparison. The West Indies behind in terms of wickets and runs. But Viv Richards is there, and he is deadly dangerous with that bat in his hand.
Greg Matthews continues to Vivian Richards.
And the West Indian captain mournfully leaves. No wonder, because he had the winning of the game there. He was the only one who could do it. Unless something remarkable happens. Richards out for 70, back of the bat. Matthews has claimed him. Well, it is nasty for the West Indies. They're still in there because they're a great cricket team.
What a timid way to go for the great player. There it is. It's way down weak side. He just tried to roll it, got the back of the bat. And this time Tim Zura didn't have to appeal because Richards was on his way. And Matthews once again getting a vital wicket. The great West Indian batsman out for 70 at 6 for 114.
Now, Malcolm Marshall is the new batsman.
Simon O'Donnell coming on from the hill end of the Sydney Cricket Ground. Smash, there's a man out there who's coming around. He's got it! Yes! Well caught! Simon O'Donnell picks up his 3rd wicket. Stephen Waugh takes a well-judged catch. It's all running for the Australians. They've bowled superbly to their field.
Yeah, where they have been a good performance. There's still West Indian batting there. Marshall got it just about off the middle of the bat. A yard or 2 either side of Waugh. It would have been 4 runs, but he was there, took the catch. Marshall's gone, 7 for 126. Winston Benjamin comes out to the centre now. He's in with Roger Harper. That's why he's come out. Malcolm Marshall got that away beautifully, pretty much off the centre of the bat. It had to go within 5 or 6 yards of Stephen Waugh for him to be able to get there, and he judged it very nicely. The stroke was on. Marshall almost got it right.
So here's Benjamin facing Taylor. He's hit that beautifully. That's 4 runs.
Peter Taylor too short, as he has been a number of times this evening. Winston Benjamin certainly timed that one to perfection.
So Simon O'Donnell, who's really done a tremendous job for Australia. 8 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 9. He's gone. Zora picks him up. Zora's 3rd catch, O'Donnell's 4th wicket. The West Indies slump further in the mire. They're 8 for 133. Australia near a crucial victory.
On that occasion, Winston Benjamin just tried to play an orthodox shot. In fact, may have even tried to run it down past the keeper, but he only succeeded in presenting Tim Zura with a simple catch, and it's 8 for 133.
So Joel Garner comes in, the big bird, with the West Indies 8 done for 133. They need 195 to win. West Indies weren't expecting to depend on Joel Garner to win the match with the bat for them. Could make all the difference if he could loft a few sixes in this over. And there's a gigantic hit by Joel Garner. That's gone and gone into the roof of the members' stand, just on top of the ladies' pavilion there. Huge hit by Garner. This was a gamble by Border.
Well, we were talking big sixes in Adelaide on the weekend, with Viv hitting one up on the pavilion roof, and David Hooks said the biggest six that he'd seen hit was by Joel Garner. And that was when he was playing for South Australia. Well, I think he might have just surpassed that. I've never seen that before, on the roof of the members' stand.
That's gone down the ground. There's a fielder back. It'll go over his head. That's another 6. Well, we were saying this was a gamble that Border was taking. An over which will yield 12 or 18 or even 24 for the West Indies. Could tighten things up here.
Well, that one wasn't anywhere near as big, but it gets him the same result, 6 runs in the scorebook. Let's even things up a little, except that the bottom row there says only 2 wickets in hand.
And he's gone. Last ball of the over. Straightforward return catch, as easy as pie for Peter Taylor. So in the end, he's got his revenge. West Indies have lost their 9th wicket, and that must have been a tremendous relief for Peter Taylor, even though he didn't show it.
He's a dangerous man with the bat, Joel. Peter Taylor coming around the wicket. That one was hit pretty hard. It was a good catch by Peter Taylor. Mind you, he didn't have a lot of choice. It was catch it or wear it. The 9th wicket is down for 152.
So there's the equation. Just the 1 wicket, 37 runs, 24 balls. It's been done already, somewhere, someplace. Matthews with 2 overs to go. They're 4 in all. Matthews will bowl 2 from this end if necessary, and Davis will have 2 from the opposite end. That's it. All over. Brilliant catch by Border. Australia have won. Superb victory by Australia. Their second consecutive victory in this competition, following that over England at the Adelaide Oval on Monday. They're back in business in the World Series Cup, and what a competition we now have.
Well, there was a terrific performance from the Australians. They really played well out there under all sorts of pressure, and they exerted their own pressure on the West Indians. 158 Viv Richards' team managed against that score of 194. Richards himself was in great form. I said the other day I thought he was just about running into good touch, and he really looked good out there this evening. 70 from 96 balls. But the next top score was the not-out batsman Roger Harper on 20 from 49. It took him a long time to get cracking out there, and in the end he remained unbeaten, but it did pose problems down the bottom of the order. 158 all out, and the bowling figures for Australia, some excellent efforts there. 8 overs for 29 for Davis, and that even though he came under some punishment from Viv Richards. O'Donnell was superb. 10 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 19. He's got that change of pace working very well at the moment. And Steve Waugh again bowled remarkably well. He's improving every match as a medium pacer. 10 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 21. And the 2 spinners, even though Taylor went for 53, he did a job out there for Alan Border. He bowled a bit short, and that's something he'll be thinking about as he sits back in the dressing room this evening. Matthews, 3 for 32, has had a terrific time with the ball in these Benson and Hedges World Series Cup games. Man of the match? Well, it was Simon O'Donnell. A great bowling performance out there. He was given the responsibility of leading the attack today. Ken McClay was made 12th man. Bruce Reid is injured, and O'Donnell did a tremendous job for Alan Border. The points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup: England 6, Australia 6 now, but they've played one more game. This is still a very, very open competition, and 4 points to the West Indies. So a great performance from Alan Border's side. The next game coming up is between England and the West Indies at the MCG on Friday, and doesn't need anyone to underline the fact that that is of vital importance now because of the way the points table is structured. But a great match here at the SCG this evening. 36,000 people present. Australia won by 36 runs. And a very, very good fighting effort from everyone in the team, and very well led by Alan Border. For the moment, it's good night.